Let's bring in Claire Manera. She's the emergency coordinator for Doctors Without Borders in Gaza. She joins us now from a field hospital in Deir el-Balah. Claire, you're now speaking to us from a field facility, but you have been operating out of the Nasser Hospital in Khan Younis. I understand you've been told you must now leave that area by Israeli forces. What is the situation now?
We have to leave by the Israeli forces, but we have pushed out because it is no longer safe to work there. The airstrikes around the perimeter of the hospital are intensifying every day and getting closer and closer. So just on Monday, there was an airstrike which damaged the ceilings of the OT and in the IPD sections. Plus, they shattered the windows of our inpatient department where some of our critical patients are staying. So it's impossible for us to continue working in these conditions.
Claire, you spoke there about airstrikes close to the facility. I mean, so many hospitals have been targeted by Israeli forces in this war. Are you concerned about direct attacks on medical facilities?
Well, yes, we're concerned about this every day because now anything can be struck at any moment without warning, and we are seeing this day by day. It's not just the tents of the displaced people and the camps and the schools of the people who are running for their lives, but it is still also medical facilities that are being attacked. And Nasser has been attacked at least 3 or 4 times since I arrived in the last 6 weeks, and we just don't know if it will continue to be safe there.
Claire, what does all of this mean for patients and others in need of medical care, especially in the south? Obviously, Nasser Hospital, I understand, has one of the only intensive care units that was still functioning. Can field hospitals deal with the needs?
Field hospitals cannot deal with the needs because there is no reliable or safe ICU that can be set up in a field hospital. So for the pediatrics and the neonatology, we're at risk of losing the lives of these infants, and there's nothing we can do about it. We need to have these services continuing at Nasser Hospital, and otherwise we know that these children, they're going to die because there's no alternatives.
Claire, you said that you'd been forced out of Nasser. What is the situation with patients there now? Are there any organizations working in Nasser Hospital still able to function and look after people there?
There are still organizations working there, and MSF will continue to work there, though we are moving some of our services out to Deir el-Balah, to our field hospital. So we are trying with the Ministry of Health to do the best that we can to continue supporting them, but also to make sure our staff and our patients are safe as well. So it's really difficult choices we have to make every day. And the worst thing is, I think, just seeing the mothers and fathers of these children in the hospital, they're having to watch their children die because we can't provide the support that is needed at the scale that is needed.
Claire, let me ask you a little more about the children that you and your staff have been treating. We know many of them are malnourished, and that obviously has knock-on impacts for recovery if they get wounded or sick. What is the situation with the kids that you're seeing?
Well, yesterday I was in Nasser Hospital and saw this 7-year-old girl who she'd been burned, extreme burns, and she was just very young and innocent, but an airstrike exploded right next to her home. So we need to provide the medical care, but also adequate food for her to heal because she cannot heal without enough nutrition. It's devastating to see someone so young suffering, and then we're running out of basic supplies like sterile compresses and gauze. So if this is not allowed in at scale, we can't treat these patients with third-degree burns, and we won't have enough pain medication, so they'll be in even more agony.
You're talking there about supplies. Israel is saying that the blockade is over. Are you getting any of the supplies that you need?
Well, since the 2nd of March, we've received only 4 trucks in of medical supplies, which is vastly inadequate. We can't move our supplies through because it's too dangerous and we're not guaranteed safe passage at all. So we need immediately a ceasefire, a sustained ceasefire, to be able to work normally, to be able to support the people here. And we need aid at a huge scale, not just coming in slowly into areas that's unsafe where people are shot at. We need to give humanitarian aid according to humanitarian principles and not violating humanitarian law.
Claire Manera there, the emergency coordinator for Doctors Without Borders, speaking to us from Deir el-Balah. Thank you so much, Claire. We wish you and your colleagues all the best with your work, and we hope you all stay safe.
Thank you.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.